Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting. Today, I am honored to have my new guest on here, Trevor Cotter, aka Bangin' Brass, the man who does not stop at anything, gets it done. How you doing today, Trevor?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for having me on.
I am honored that you decided to come on. I thank Jay Beal for being our hookup. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. You're always listening too. Um, Trevor, shit. I've been following you for a while now, and when you started your podcast, I was one of those faithful viewers, listening every time live, and I even listened to the recordings afterwards. So always a good show, and I'm glad that we were able to actually communicate today and get on, and we're gonna have a good show.
Yeah, man, you're always like one of the first people in, and you always hang on through the whole thing. It's rare.
It is. And I might pop out and in and out. Got to use the phone because Instagram's not nice with other applications and letting you pop out and come back in. So yeah, so always listening. Love the show. But for today, you're on Manny Talks Shooting, the show where I talk about whoever I want to talk to on the internet. Guys, preface this first. Trevor and I decided we were going to do this show before Nationals, but we're not going to talk about any of the things that happened at Nationals, except maybe the shooting. Just so you know, don't feel like talking about it. Y'all can make your own assumptions and what's out there, so have fun at it.
And
but anyway, Trevor, who are you and how did you get into shooting?
I'm just another shooter, man. I kind of fell into the sport. I grew up hunting, grew up shooting guns, and one of my buddies was actually renting a room at my house, and he was my range guy, and he was like, man, we should really go try this IDPA stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds fun. And we were at the range together, 2 or 3 times a week. So I was like, sure. So we signed up for an IDPA match, and then I ended up getting called out to work, and then so did he. So we were like, well, shit, we'll try to make another one. And then we found USPSA. We both signed up for it, but on the way, he got a call. He had to go into work. So I ended up going solo. I was planning on shooting production. I had my carry gun, which was my HK VP9, and like a Walmart holster and like 2 mag pouches that just slipped through the belt, and just showed up, met a bunch of cool people, the Berries and all those guys, Marco Davis from Motley, and shot my first stage production. And Kim was ROing me. She was nice enough to go, hey, if you really want to have fun, you just need to go ahead and fill those mags all the way up and just not care. I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up shooting limited, and or I guess I went open at that point because I just didn't even care. I don't know how. I don't even know what division it was, but I was shooting an HK VP9. And dude, I had fun, man. I was hooked right away. I shot my first stage and like kind of paused for a second to just let it soak in, and was like, this is the shit. I can do this for a long time. And then the more I did it, the more I got better at it, and the more I started practicing. And then I just got the bug and started to take it very seriously. I come from a sports background, so it was very easy for me to just kind of dive headfirst into another sport. And this one seems to mean the most to me of all the sports I've competed at. So I think I'm going to try to make a pretty good run at it.
Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating. I think everyone's first match is always so fun. We kind of know the rules. You kind of just show up, you're going to have fun, you're going to have a good time. That's a great thing about our community, too. Everyone wants to get that new shooter, your first match to be fun and successful and not some garbage crap show. And you're like, I hate this thing.
Yeah. It was. I had a bunch of good people out there that really kind of babied me into the sport and made it fun. And that was the important thing for me, is that they made it fun. Is from the very beginning, the people that I was shooting with, the people that I was around, made the sport very enjoyable. So it hooked me so hard. I drank the Kool-Aid the first day and never looked back.
Yeah, the Kool-Aid, the USPSA Kool-Aid's pretty tasty.
It is. It is all the way tasty.
I would say that this is the longest hobby I've been actually interested in. I will say I haven't been participating long as either. You started 2 years prior to I have. I've only had really less than a year into the sport, but this is the thing I've dedicated kind of myself to and getting better. And you are too. I think we aren't that old, but we've lost so much time. You're only a little bit older than I am, so it's But shit, then there's Jay Beal, who's a freaking baller, and he's about your age, and God,
Yeah.
just the,
Lost a lot of time, man. I wish I would have found this sport at like 10.
yeah, I know, right? Wish everyone wasn't so sheltered and be able to actually find it, because shit, through the power. That's the only way I found it was through the power of the internet.
Yeah, I found it through a buddy. Didn't even know it was a thing. I remember,
Mm-hmm.
I've always watched like Top Shot and all that stuff. I always watched like the Shooting USA channel, but I never really paid attention. I was just
Mm-hmm.
a gun guy than anything. And then when I found this, I was like, dude, if I would have found this at a young age, I can only imagine what I would have accomplished by now. Instead of beating the brakes off my body in football and powerlifting and doing all that dumb shit, I could have just
Mm-hmm.
been time.
Yeah, yeah. If we think about it, like if we were like Gianni's, starting when Gianni was and being that fit, I've put on some pounds, but damn, I wish I was that skinny.
The kid's a
He is a beast, and I can't wait to see where he's going, especially with those new open guns he's just got.
yeah. Damn it! Now I got to deal with him. It was fun. It was fun to root for him when he was not shooting open. Now I got to strap in. See what happens.
Yeah, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. It'll be nice. It'll be interesting.
Yep. I
It'll
always
be.
competition though. I actually, when he told me he had open guns, I got kind of excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that weirdo that likes to punish himself and try to do the hardest shit possible, and that's why I went to open. And anytime there's a new competitor that's really coming up, decides to shoot open, I get super pumped because then it's just another chance for me to, in my head, go to war.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. It's competition breeds greatness, and the better the field is, the better chance to better ourselves. So it's always a good thing.
Oh yeah, man.
Like we said, you shoot open. You happen to be one of the team captains for Atlas Gunworks, along with some other sponsored companies. So, what made you pick Atlas? Because you started with limited with them and then moved to open.
Yeah. So, man, I originally was shooting for another gun company. Just a local guy that was local to me, super nice guy, Bad Dog Customs. Build some great stuff. And, I was looking at buying, my own stuff. So I hit up Adam from Atlas Gunworks and actually was in the process of buying guns because I had tested pretty much everything. Everyone at my club had, there were multiple Infinities, multiple Limcats, multiple Atlases, multiple Akais. I was lucky enough to shoot all of them. And I came to the conclusion that Atlas, in my opinion, was the best.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that may not be the case for everybody. All guns are different. I liked how fast Atlases cycled, how soft they were, how smooth they were. I liked the way they tracked. I liked the fit and finish. So I ordered a couple guns, and before my guns were even like really going, Atlas hit me up and was like, "Hey, we'd love to have you on the team," and the rest was history.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, "Are you due? What?" It's like, I think you have the wrong email.
Right?
I think I even said to the person that was in the sponsorship at the time, like when we finally had the phone call, they were like, "Yeah, man, we'd love to have you on." And I was just like, man, if this is a sick joke, I'm going to be really pissed.
Right?
Or for real. I was like, all right, cool. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And
lucky middle of the road, nobody shooter, man.
I guess, and I love how Adam puts out videos about, why they do certain things at Atlas. It's very nice when he does like a new product video of why they did something, like the new 18% springs, the new mags, everything. It seems like Adam's very forthcoming with information about products and making everyone a better offering nowadays.
He is, man. That's, I learned how to tune mags from an Atlas video. I learned how to break down my 2011 for the first time from an Atlas video. I learned how to tune my guns from Atlas videos. Like I was really, you don't realize just how much content they put out there for new shooters until you are a new shooter,
Mm-hmm.
utilizing that content. And then I think the other day I forgot when I pulled my limited stuff out to shoot limited 10 nationals, I forgot what the feed lips and the mag were supposed to be tuned at. So I didn't make any phone calls. I didn't text anybody. I just went to the YouTube clip pulled it up, skipped through the part where he told you the dimensions and was like, cool, and then shut it off. And I had the dimensions. Like, you can go back and reference that stuff. And he's very, very, very methodical. He's very intelligent, and he looks at it from a consumer side, because in the end of the day, like, he sees himself as just a guy who is trying to make it easier for the shooters, not necessarily himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes he does stuff where I'm like, that won't benefit the company as much. And he goes, that's because it's not meant to benefit me. It's meant to benefit everyone else. So it's a pretty neat deal to watch.
It is. And I even watched a lot of Atlas 2011 videos, even the mag tuning videos or mag cleaning videos. And I don't even shoot a 2011. I shoot a Glock. So it's like,
You don't have to.
What was that?
I said, you don't have to clean those things at all.
Yes, you do. Sand is still a bitch. I don't care. Everyone says, oh, you don't have to clean those mags. No, yes, you do. At least where I shoot, every range is a sand pit. It doesn't matter. It's not rock, it's sand. And as soon as your follower gets jammed up, it's the end of the road.
You're telling me that a Glock mag jams?
Mm-hmm.
There are 9 million tactical Timmies right now with their head exploding.
Well, and they also want to ruin our sport, too. So, I mean...
Yeah. They could, I don't know. The more the merrier. How they come in, the thing is, the more of them that come in, they're going to come in with the idea of, tactical, and then eventually going to want to play the game, right? They're always going to morph into, okay, now I want to get good at this. So whatever gets them in the sport,
Oh, and I 100% agree with that. I absolutely do. My problem is when they want to change our rules and our divisional rules to fit their gun that they bought, and say that's what I want. I'm like, we have divisions, so you get to play in our game by our rules, and that's what drives me nuts. Is like, I don't know, every couple of months I'll get someone talking to me and like, I'd love it if my 2011 comped gun was allowed in carry optics. I'm like, no, you got to go to open. You got to go play with the big boys in open. I don't care if you're shooting minor. You're going to play with the big boys.
Yeah. Comped guns should always be an open, dude. That's just is what it is. I like the idea of 2011s in carry optics, but then again, I don't. I'll tell you right now, if 2011s were allowed in carry optics, that'd be the division I shot, and and I would have the best fucking time with it.
Absolutely.
I'd be so excited if that was the case.
Oh yeah, minor power factor. Don't have to worry about blowing up a gun.
Oh man, yeah, blowing up guns sucks. Ask me how I know.
What'd you do? How many slides have you cracked?
Slides, none. All right, I say I've blown up guns. The only thing I've ever had with my open gun is I had the barrel crack, and that was after 98,000 and some change rounds through that barrel, and it cracked at the weak point, I guess you would say, of that barrel, which is by the popple holes.
So between the popple holes then, or more down towards the rest of the barrel?
On the breech face side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that barrel had been rode hard and put away all the way wet. So I wasn't surprised, and I'm still, that gun threw a new barrel in it. I'm still rocking that bitch. It's still running.
Well, there you go. At least it was a pretty inexpensive part to get replaced then and fitted. So
I actually I only was down my gun for 4 days.
That's not bad. Did you have a backup gun though?
Yeah, I had a backup gun, so it wasn't a big deal. But I shipped my gun on a Monday. I had it back on Thursday.
That's pretty nice. They knew it was coming though.
Oh yeah. So when it happened, I made a phone call. I called Adam and was like, "Hey, I knew he was on his boat. I was like, hey, are you in a good mood?" He was like, yeah, why? I was like, I kind of blew my barrel up. And he just laughed and was like, how bad? I sent him a picture and he was just like, no big deal. Send it in. We'll have it back. I was like, all right, cool.
There you go. That's always a good thing.
But yeah, I don't know. 2011s and carry optics would be so much fun.
And I totally agree. I mean, it'll make kind of a little bit of a gear race at first, I think, because you'd find the people who want to switch to the 2011 from maybe the Shadow 2s. I mean, they could go single action only at that point, but that'd be no big deal. You'd lose a lot of polymer guns, but I'd be okay with it. Long as the rules are defined enough that it's different than open.
See, that's the catch. Is
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't think you should put 2011s in carry optics. I think you should just make power factor go away,
Mm-hmm.
or at least drop major power factor like to 145, where plus P plus or plus P ammo makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Just for just plain safety purposes. There's absolutely zero reason to be running 165 power factor through these guns, besides the fact that somebody thought about it 30 years ago and we're not smart enough to change it.
Well, yeah, and then everyone's not even running bottom of the barrel major power factor ammo. It's like 170, 175. IPSC guys are running like 180.
Yeah, it's retarded. It should be 145 up, and minor stays 125 to 145. But anything over 145 is major power factor. And I've actually found if you spring the gun, like I practice, like all my practice ammo is minor. I don't practice with major power factor at all whatsoever. I do nothing but minor through my guns, and that's just for longevity purposes. That's why I'm able to get 100,000 rounds through an open gun before I have any issues.
As long as your ammo is loaded right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As long as you have good ammo.
As long as you have good ammo, yeah. But then again, I mean, if we go to, lowering the power factor, the room for error could, change.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be such a drastic thing loading your ammo,
Yeah, you won't have to worry about filling the case and then putting the bullet on top of it and compressing it all and
back down. Yeah, bullets are a real thing. It is terrifying.
Yeah, it is, and it'd be nice. I run my minor ammo pretty hot. I'm running like at minimum 135s.
Ooh.
But I like the recoil impulse. So it works for me.
You like it snappy and fast.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yeah. And I'm shooting like a 125, so it's going, and it just recoils fairly fine. And I don't want to have to worry about ever making power factor. So if I go a little hotter like that, I do not have to worry if I fly anywhere or temperature issues. But that's just me.
I do the same thing open, man. I stick mine at 172, and that'll be good anywhere in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I know that no matter where I go, that load stays the same, and it's fine. And I've been to some places where it's 168, 169, and I've been some places where it's 178. It's just, but in Houston, it's 172, and it works like a charm everywhere I go.
Well, there you go. Yeah, and you travel a lot. Last year, how many majors you get to last year during COVID?
I believe the number was 16, give or take a few. I can't remember, but I was supposed to do 24 before COVID hit. I had 20 in the U.S., and then I had 4 international matches. The Extreme Euro Open being one of them. I was going to do a match in Jamaica. I was going to do another one in where was it? I think I was going to do another one in like Australia, and then I was going to do another one in the Philippines, and that all went down the crap. So I did, I think 14 or 16. I can't remember the number. I got to go back and look, but as many as I could, really.
And that was flying and driving, and you had your long-loved husband, boyfriend, wife, Chase Rains with you, but now not anymore. He's riding solo.
Kind of bitter, man. Well, yeah. He actually, one of the kids I've been training for the last year and a half, Riley Murphy. He's a monster up and coming junior. But since I left, he started shooting USPSA right before I left, and we kind of got him transitioned to USPSA from SASP. And he actually just went to his first big major, was Dragon's Cup. And I was there for that one, but then he just actually was Chase's travel partner to Northern Arizona Classic. So they were calling me from the road, like, we miss you. I was like, yeah. But yeah, now I got to go solo everywhere. It really sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nobody in the Houston area who will ride with you?
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is, man, but I don't know. Nobody's offered yet, and I haven't found anybody who I'm like, hey, you want to travel across the country with me all year? With Chase, we're boys. We were friends long before we were travel buddies. Does that make sense? We were buddies long before we ever decided to drive 18 hours together and stay 4 days in a hotel together. And, that takes, you got to know people, I'm very picky with the people I like spend my personal time with. Obviously when I'm at matches and everything, I'm very friendly with everyone. I try to make sure everyone's having fun. That's in my head what I'm supposed to do is have fun with everyone and make it a good time and be the best me, right? But when I'm on my own personal time, I'm very like structured. I have a lot of work that I do when I get back to the hotels. I'm very clean. I don't like dirty people. So if I travel with somebody and their hotel's a disaster and they're not showering, I'm like, fuck, I'm never doing this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the no showering is a definite never again. You are on the banned list.
Yeah, especially if you're literally sleeping 5 feet from me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, like I used to work out of town a lot, and I had to travel with people where I'm like, how do you not smell yourself?
Mm-hmm. Well, they smell like oil. That's why.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we're usually covered in fucking oil and grease and everything else, and they just literally plop down in their overalls and go to sleep. And I'm like, what are you doing? You haven't showered, changed, still have your work boots on, you freaking savage.
I mean, I've met so many people who could just literally just fall asleep in their clothes. I could never do it. Damn, steel toe boots are too damn heavy for that shit.
Dude, hell yeah. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
No way. But I'm sure I'll find somebody. Somebody will come out of the woodwork. If you're in Houston and you want to travel, man, hit me up. We'll figure it out.
Yep. You split the rooms. We'll be good.
That's what made it easy, man, is we split all the travel expenses.
Yeah.
And I have I have a business that I operate personally for my shooting, and he does as well. He owns a gun shop. And so we were able to, keep tabs of everything and, split hotel costs, split food costs, travel costs, everything, and made it really nice. Now I'm over here with my little mini violin. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true that. So the nice thing is, tax write-offs and travel expenses get covered, and it makes it definitely beneficial to be a competitive shooter in that aspect. Hotel covered. Check.
Yep. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. And now I'm moving more into, this is a business for me,
Mm-hmm.
not a hobby. So, excuse me. So, I'm training, I'm traveling, I'm shooting full time, I'm practicing full time. So it's getting to the point where, yeah, you got to start documenting everything and making it worth your while.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you got to pay yourself back for all your time, because this is really a sport that you kind of it costs you so much more time than the match. You think about, you might be at the major match for 8 to 10 hours that day, but you got to fly there, and all the hours of live fire and dry fire practice and mental fortitude, and to shoot maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah. I did the math on it, man. Like, a nationals or a big area match or something like that, you're actually only really shooting for like 200 to 300 seconds in most cases. And
Mm-hmm.
you just dropped like a couple grand and like 4 days worth of your time to
Mm-hmm.
do it for 200 to 300 seconds. It's an insane thing to grasp, but
Mm-hmm.
for a while. That's why I try to enjoy everything else besides just pulling the trigger. Like, if you've ever spotted with me, like the whole thing to me is a party. I just want to have fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to have fun. We can't be super serious all the time at a match. I mean, there's only so long you can be in super focus mode until you just burn out, and then no one wants to squad with you then at that point.
No, man, there's guys I won't squad with. There's guys I've shot with before, and if I see them jump on my squad, I'm like, ugh, I'm not gonna deal with that guy all day,
Mm-hmm.
because some people are just so like lasered in, and like they're like a robot from start to finish. They can't crack a smile. They can't laugh, and then if you laugh, they're like, oh, shh, shh, shh. I'm up in 4 shooters. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. If they don't know how to turn the switch on, like when they're like in the hole or something, like, I don't know. Because I'm very much, if I'm in the hole, then that's where all the fun stops, and I get ready to get focused again and let her rip.
That's how it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely how we should be. And I mean, I take this sport very seriously. For even my level of participation, I take it fairly seriously, even though I'm fairly new to the sport.
Yeah.
I'm a student of it though, which is interesting because I've long followed USPSA prior to shooting. Like COVID fucked me starting like royally. It's like I was gonna start in May of 2020, and nope, COVID. You can't, matches are shut down because all the clubs are run by old, like ancient, retired people who are like, the virus will kill me.
Yeah. This 99.9% survival rate is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. At least you live in Texas. You guys haven't had masks for a while, so
I didn't wear a mask through this whole thing.
lucky bastard.
I went to work every day. This thing didn't slow me down one bit. And for all you, mask wearing guys who, yell at me for not having a vaccine and all this other stuff, I really don't care. But like my job never slowed down. Like I was in face-to-face meetings every day, no mask, shaking hands, like walking around yards, meeting with 50 people a day. Like this thing didn't slow me down one bit. I actually forgot we were in a pandemic until it came time to like book a flight or travel out of the city. And I was like, oh, shit, everybody's taking this real serious. So
yeah. Yeah, I've been lucky. We didn't lose any time at work or anything, but stupid policies changed, and
yeah.
we like to be employed, but I'm not getting no vaccine. I'm taking advantage of it now that our state's all like, "Oh, you don't have to wear one if you're vaccinated." Cool, I identify as vaccinated, y'all. Pull a Mike Stoker on that one.
Yeah, where are you based out of again?
Michigan.
Michigan, that's right. Yeah, Michigan's not too bad.
Well, besides our shitty governor, I mean, she's awful.
Yeah, but it's not California, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, at least we have guns. I mean, we can have normal capacity guns.
Yeah, when Joe Rogan leaves California, that's getting weird.
Oh yeah, but he'll go to like Utah or Idaho or something. So he'll be in the promised land of conservatism.
He's in Texas, bro.
Oh, is he? Oh yeah, that's right. That's when I stopped. Yeah, I don't like his little bunker studio though.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get in that studio one day.
Well, there you go. I just don't like how it's lighted. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It kind of looks like a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
But like one.
Yeah. It is pretty dope.
But yeah, he moved to California basically all over again. Is basically what Austin is. Austin is the California of Texas.
Yeah. That's true. The only good redeeming quality about Austin is that it has the Ben Steger Pro Shop. You can buy things from them.
Is that where they're located?
Yeah, they actually have a brick and mortar.
I did not know that. I'm assuming I'm not allowed in that store. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Ben's in Wisconsin, so the guy who runs it, Tim who runs it's pretty cool though, from what I hear.
Yeah, they probably don't even know who I am. I could walk in no problem.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's how we all are, right? We're just middle of the pack nobodies, right?
Yeah, we're all middle of the pack nobody shooters. Nobody really cares about us anyway.
Mm-hmm. Besides that, my dues. I pay my dues.
Yeah, pay our dues, but it's not like we have a voice.
No. Matt Hopkins, we need you, sir.
Yeah, for sure. I'm on that train. But yeah, it's getting interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. We talked about your open gun, but I'm kind of curious, why did you pick the red dot you run, and like what's your belt setup a little bit like?
Yeah, so the red dot, I tried a bunch of different ones at first. I tried the Leopold, the SRO. I tried the Seymour RTS2. And I kind of like played with them all, and I like certain things about all of them. But the main reason I shoot the Romeo 3XL is the glass quality. That's it, right? And there's parts of that I'm not a huge fan of. Like the buttons can go out really fast on them sometimes. The battery tray can be funky sometimes, like just stuff I've heard. And then I actually just had one completely like just not hold zero on me. And it happened at my first big major. So I zero the guns like right before I leave, and I have 2 practice sessions before I leave, and everything was fine, right? And then I show up to the match, and I'm assuming at some point, my box is in the back of my truck, and maybe it got knocked around. I don't know, but I start shooting, and I'm missing mini poppers by like a bigger margin than I really conceived was. I was just kept missing mini poppers and was like, what the F? And then it was actually one of my buddies who right after the first day was like, hey, let me see your gun. I want to go test it out, because he shoots 38 super comp. I shoot 9 major. And he was like, your gun just seems softer and flatter than mine. Let me look. And he like went to shoot, and he was like, hey, you're 4 inches left and like 5 inches high. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I zeroed it, went back. Within a stage, it was not zeroed again. So I just kind of Kentucky windaged my way through the match, because my backup gun was at the time not where it needed to be. So I was pretty frustrated, but that's the only issue I've really had with it, was just it didn't hold zero for me. All the rest of them have been good, but the thing I like about the Romeo 3XL the most is whenever you're looking into the sun, like if the sun's setting in your face or rising in your face, it doesn't wash out the dot at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's no parallax. Like the dot's still crisp. Like you can see perfectly. And for me, like it's better in lighting conditions that other dots fail in. Other more reliable in certain aspects, but the Romeo 3XL is reliable enough and holds up good enough and performs well enough that for me, I liked the glass clarity. And their warranty is also pretty tits. Like,
yeah,
didn't hold zero. I called them and was like, hey, that's not holding zero. And they were like, cool, send it to us and we'll take a look at it in like 3 weeks and get back to you. And I was like, that's not going to work for me. I need this gun back. I need this dot back by like 3 days or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, why? And I was like, well, like I shoot for a living. So if this dot's gone, like I'm not making money. So come on. And they were nice enough to be like, all right, bet. And then I'm pretty sure they shipped me a dot before my dot made it. Because when the dot got there, I looked at the receipt and it said shipped on good faith. I was like, I don't think, because it was fast, dude. Like I shipped it on a Monday. I paid for overnight shipping. Or no, I shipped it on a Tuesday because I got back on Monday. I shipped it on a Tuesday and I had the new dot by Thursday. And I was like, there's no fucking way they looked at this dot. They must have just shipped me a new one. I looked at the receipt and it literally was like shipped on good faith. I was like, it's kind of a weird thing to say. And then I was like, oh, these fools just shipped me a new dot and didn't even care. So their customer service is pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, and that is nice not having to deal with sun. Like I know on the SROs, if they get sun, you can get a false dot on them, but they're definitely they're comparable. Even though that one's more wide, isn't it? The XL instead of round like the Max.
That was another reason I went with it, is because if I lose my dot, it's never up and down. Mm-hmm. It's all side to side. I grab my gun at a weirder angle side to side, and when the dot comes into frame, like the dot's a little left or a little right. Mm-hmm. So I like adjust, right? So it just gives me that little bit more of window error. It was just, for me, that was the dot I liked. I probably had way too much of a cerebral approach to that. I probably would be good with any dot, but for me, I was like, if I lose my dot, it's left, right, and I don't like how these work in the sun. So I'm just going to use this one. Right. But I've had a few people say give the SRO another shot, but I'm not a huge fan of how much parallax the SRO has. Mm-hmm. And the sun also gives you a false dot, and I'm way too ADHD for that.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, especially when you go shoot at places like Frostproof, where the sun's coming over the berm, and you're dealing with sun right in your eyes, and you're like, just right. At some point, there's no benefit to that, to having to deal with that.
Yeah, this new. Have you been to the Talladega range yet?
No, I've seen pictures though.
So, it's not as bad as Frostproof, mm-hmm. but I imagine the AM is not going to be as nice as the PM, just mm-hmm. from experience of shooting at that range. Like I was thinking, man, a dot would suck at this point, just the way sitting in the mornings. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah, and you shot AM, PM, AM at nationals, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm shooting PMA and PM now.
There you go. See, that's the super squad rotation. So
Yeah, I'm not on that yet.
yeah, not yet. Almost. We'll get there.
I don't know if I'll ever be allowed on it now. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we don't know. Not in the current scope of things.
Yeah. That's part of me wishes that would have been the case. Like, I wish I would have had better nationals last year, so I was on the super squad, because that would have been hilarious through the past 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah,
the memes would have been savage.
Yes, the memes would have been even more savage.
Yeah, unfortunately, I shit the bed like a 2-year-old at last year's nationals. So,
well, you had ammo issues. I mean, that was pretty much. I keep remembering you saying was you've had ammo issues that whole match.
Yeah, but that's still in my control. I loaded the ammo, so
yeah,
still my fault. I still shit the bed. So,
yeah, it's not like it was your shooting ability that shat the bed, though. It was.
Yeah, if I would have been shooting like factory problems, I probably would have been like less upset at myself. But the whole time I was thinking about how many times I like case gauged each one of these rounds and like looked at them and checked them and like, it sucked.
Oh, I can imagine, especially when it's nationals. That just makes it even more frustrating.
I was thinking about dressing myself up like a seal and throwing myself in an orca tank, but
no. Well, you can't really do that at Frostproof because there's no water around there.
Yeah.
Well, the gator. You can feed yourself to the gator.
Yeah. Is there gators there? I've yet to see a gator there, and I kind of been looking because I wanted to catch one.
I think I saw Keita Bussy post a picture last year at Factory Gun Nats of the gator.
Yeah. That little shy little guy doesn't like to come out when I'm around, I think.
No.
He smelled the trailer park coming when I'm like, this guy's going to try to pick me up.
Put a leash on me and walk me.
Yeah. I'm going to be like that guy who has a emotional support alligator. Have you seen that?
I've not seen an alligator, but I could believe it.
The guy in Florida with a registered emotional support alligator. That is no bullshit.
I mean, I believe it. I can believe that.
I'll send you the link after this. I thought it was a joke. My wife sent it to me and was like, "This is retarded." I said, "I agree." But now...
Right? Yeah.
But the new CMP range is pretty neat. They need more bays. I don't know how they're going to do a race gun format out there in the current state. They got to have more bays, and they got to figure out the, if they're after award show as shitty as this one was, they're going to have big problems on their hands because like the attendance for race gun nationals is so much more for the award ceremony that if they handle it like they did this one, it's not going to be good.
Right. My biggest things I've heard was you had 6 bays doubled up for 2 stages apiece, and you had 5 porta potties on the whole range.
That filled up every day, like half the day. Like I walked in one of those porta potties, and like no bullshit, there was like human excrement to the top. Like if I would have sat down, ass would have shit. I looked at it and I was like, what am I even doing in here? And like I turned around and walked out, and a guy like walked by and laughed. I was like, have you been in there yet? He goes, disgusting, right? I'm like, it's like 1:00 in the afternoon. Where are the people to clean these? And so they had a regular restroom like in the parking lot area that I kept using, but it was bad. Like I don't know what the women did. Those poor ladies just had to struggle bust through that.
Well, and then you had to de-gun all the time. Like you had to de-gun, de-belt to go to the bathroom. Like, and you got to go bays away.
Yeah, it sucked, dude. It sucked. They got a few things to work out, but growing pains. I'm sure the first nationals at Florida wasn't perfect. Yeah. But I will say that I think that doubling up 6 bays for open gun nats is not going to work. Not going to work. Like the point of open, like the stages for open gun nationals last year were so good that this year they're going to have to really put on a pretty good show, you know, to make everybody not super worried that Shannon Smith's not involved anymore. But
he did put a good last match from what I saw. Those stages all looked pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty decent. And I'm going to miss the shoot house. That is one thing I'm going to miss.
Yeah.
House always made it. And they have had a shoot house at every nationals I've been to, because they have a shoot house at Utah and they have a shoot house in Florida, but there's no shoot house in CMP at the moment. Now, whether they build one out of thin air, who knows? I think just drive a mobile home in there and park it. Figure it out.
That'd be pretty cheap and effective too.
It would, man. Just find an old FEMA trailer, you know, just like a $1,000 FEMA trailer, and gut it and just slap it in there.
Damn right.
Feel right at home. I'll be looking for my cousins around there.
Right. And I mean, that shoot house is so iconic when you think of everything that's happened at Frostproof. And like, I think my first images of Frostproof are from watching the show Top Shots, you know, with Jerry and Max Michelle on there. I mean, that's really what kind of drove me to say I want to do that, is watching that TV show.
Yeah, dude, Hot Shots had some awesome footage. I don't know why they don't do those anymore. That'd be pretty cool, because I go back and watch those still on YouTube.
I've watched them 4 times now.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
Really want the motivation. Like, there's few things that I'd like. David Goggins is one of them. Like, that guy will get you jazzed up if your grandmother just died in front of you. But like, going back and watching like the hot shot stuff with you know, Max Michelle and Jerry, I skipped through because now I've watched them so much I know where the good shit's at. Morning episodes, I'm like, and skip to 12 minutes and we're good. Now we're watching Max try to win a world shoot. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, I loved that show, and it was awesome, and we need to bring that back. I'm really excited to see what they do with the new Sig Sauer, like, following Max TV thing.
That's gonna be dope.
That is gonna be dope, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be Hot Shots version 2.
Dude, the freaking trailer got me hyped. Like, I was watching, like, oh fuck yeah, push that sled, let's do it.
Yeah,
gassed up already.
Yeah, and it gives you a boner right in the good spot.
Yeah, for sure. He needs to, dude, he's got to slow down eventually, right? And I think he's a cyborg.
Or he's a clone. He's just been reproduced and made in test tubes, and
they just keep remaking him and like adding like a few months of age to his face after the last 5 years, because he hasn't aged hardly at all.
It's the bald-headed thing, though. I mean, it hides the aging because he doesn't have any hair.
I think so. I think because he doesn't grow facial hair, he doesn't grow head hair. He just keeps it all shaved off, and I think that's why he looks so young.
Well, yeah, it's just how I think it's a JJ thing. They probably took JJ blood, injected into Max.
Yeah.
Or Eric Graffel. I mean, either way, there's probably a gene ratio between all 3 of them, why they're looking so young.
I think what happens is they feed off of the fear of the middle of the road nobody shooters as they're crushing their souls. Like, they feed off of it and they just get empowered, you know? Like, like what's that? There's an old cartoon where like they steal your soul, like suck your soul out, makes them younger. Can't remember what it is. Something like that, though.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those guys are freaks, man. I really, really, really want to meet Eric Graffel and shoot against Eric Graffel. That would be awesome. It's kind of like driving a car against Dale Earnhardt.
Damn right. I mean, he is like the all-time GOAT. I would love it at World Shoot if he was shooting against Max or something. That would be baller.
I think the battle is him and Christian, man. I really do. I really do. I don't see Graffel allowing, or at least attempting to not allow Christian to win a World Shoot. I don't see him just like going, I'm going to go into this division and just let this kid who just spent the last 3 years terrorizing everybody in the U.S. come over here and take a title. And let that happen.
Yeah, we should, hopefully World Shoot will be announced sooner or later if it's actually going to go or not. Was that in June or something?
I'll tell you what, a good sign that World Shoot is going to happen is the fact that SIG is doing this big production with Max. Because I have a feeling if they thought it wasn't going to happen, they wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if they're putting money into that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see them putting a whole lot of money into that production if it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just my opinion. You never know.
You never know, but at least they're letting us, hopefully allowing us to have a world shoot finally and get things moving.
Yeah, I know the Extreme Pan American got pushed to January of next year, which sucks. Because that was supposed to be in Florida, and I was very excited for that one. So there's one of my majors gone this year. And then I don't know if the Pan American Championship is still happening. I haven't heard anything about it. They haven't even sent squatting info out, I don't think. But I know I'm signed up for that one. $450 later, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, maybe at least you'll get food.
Well, I think the idea is they're going to have resetters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's an IPSC thing, so that'd be nice at majors. I mean, people would pay more.
I'd pay an extra $100 per major for somebody to be there to tape and reset.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been nice at Dragons Cup for all the little the youths resetting.
Yeah, that was my youth shooting group. That's the group I've been teaching for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I heard they made good money.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they had a little tip jar. They had a little collection plate going, and they killed it, dude. So that's another option. Like the resetters, like, you know, it's like the Philippines. You know, they work off tips.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, shit, I'd go to a match and I wouldn't even shoot the match. I'd make more than it would cost me.
yeah, for real. But I mean, the match goes by so much faster when there's dedicated resetters. Like we did the math at Dragons Cup of like the average time it takes a squad to shoot a stage. And with dedicated resetters, it was literally, no exaggeration, twice as fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't have to worry about anyone not doing their part either.
Yeah, because even if you have a really good squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's usually only going to be like 4 to 5 people resetting, and like there's a lot of talking and a lot of like lollygagging and walking slow, and you know, one guy is always doing the poppers and he has to reset 5 poppers and it takes them 2 minutes, you know. Whereas if resetters, they like go out there, boom, 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 pick up the poppers, spray paint, and you're gone, right? Like they're fast, and these are kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They were hustling, bustling.
How many paster guns did they have?
None, dude. All by hand.
Damn. Shit, they can buy one paster gun in like half a stage.
I know, dude, for real. Like, if you had 2 paster guns per stage and 2 resetters, like, think about how fast that would go.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got to have those 2,000 paster rolls, though. Got to have them big rolls.
Yeah, got to, man. Got to. I actually bought some of those. I think that thing lasted me quite a while. Like, I want to say it lasted me almost a month.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a couple of those rolls in my paster gun, and it's on point.
Yeah. Now, granted, I don't paste a whole lot in my practice. So like, I paste Charlies and Deltas,
Mm-hmm.
everything else, and then like once the target's so blown out that I just throw it away.
Yep,
So,
you have to at that point because you're just pasting pasters at that point.
yeah, when it gets to the point, like that's why I really don't. If I'm refining like trigger press and like really like having to go, okay, like I'm trying to shoot a group here, like a tight group, you know, and I'm shooting like partials on the move or something, like I tape the A zones and everything just to like, because you never know, like when you're shooting stuff like that, you know, you really want to affirm your hits. But if I'm shooting just drills and shit, I know if that didn't hit the Charlie or Delta, it was 99.9% of the time an alpha.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you can, like when you rip one in between the sticks, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's the benefit of shooting a dot. You figure out if your shot was off the target, you know it. I mean, the dot's not going to be there. It's not like irons where some people are like, oh, I thought I hit it. No. Especially when you're watching somebody shoot and you just know when they rip one over the target and they're arguing for that double. It's like, bullshit, motherfucker. You were off that target like by 4 feet.
I know a guy, and I won't point him out, but I have watched him at every major that I've shot with him at one point has argued multiple doubles. And like I watched him argue a double on a swinger that was at 25 yards, and he shot it bleeding out of position.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at it, and he's like, "Hey, come here, look at this." And he's like, "Tell me that ain't a double." And I like looked at it, looked at him, looked back at it, and was like, "You're fucking with me, right?" He was like, "Right, it's there." I'm like, "No, it's not." Like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, "Come on, dude, that's not a double at all." He's like, "No, it's a double." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I think he won the call too, which was even more. I was like, "Who cares? Whatever."
Yeah, no, that's.
Well, you will hardly ever see me like argue a double, like if it's that close. Like unless I like know for a fact, like I saw dot lift, leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I didn't see that motion, because a lot of the time my dot is just a paintbrush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this on the target. Half the time, if I like look at it, I'll take a good look at it. But if it's like not clear, I don't even worry about it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's most likely a mic. The odds of me shooting double, especially on the move, you know what I mean? Because I shoot a lot of stuff on the move. That's one thing I'm pretty good at. And if I shoot a double on the move, it's like something went wrong here.
Yeah, and you almost have to shoot on the move and open. You can't stop. It's the drag racing.
Yeah. It really, I had to take a long step back whenever I tried to shoot limited 10 nats, is because when I first started practicing, I tried to shoot it like it was an open gun. And it wasn't going very well. I was like, whoa, wait a second. Because I was having issues verifying the sight. Like, it wasn't that I was shooting bad. I just wasn't comfortable with my sight pictures on the move with irons.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, if I'm not comfortable with this, I obviously am not going to do it. So then I was like, okay, you need to set up, shoot, and then leave. Set up, shoot, leave. Set up, shoot, leave. Unless it's an open target and you're not moving extremely aggressive, then you can shoot on the move. But like, then now I get back from limited 10 nats and I pick up my open gun and I'm like, full retard. Now I got back to practice and I was like, I want to go fast, Ricky.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. It was like home, dude. First like couple shots I cracked, I was like, yes, we're back.
You have to.
It was nice. You don't realize how fun open is until you go try to shoot limited 10.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's limited 10. I mean, it's the division everyone wants to get rid of.
Yeah, it has a like. I like that it's there just to be there, right? And it's another low cap division that, and there's an art to it, dude. Like, limited 10 has stuff that makes it just as finicky and just as dedicated to that sport as open. Like, I went into it half-hearted, half dedicated, like just pretty much shot it to have fun, just to shoot a nationals, right? And just to go represent Atlas. I didn't take it very seriously. I didn't prepare very hard for it. I just kind of was like, this isn't going to be that difficult. I'm just going to go shoot it. And boy, howdy, was I wrong. Because there are parts of that game that if you're not prepared for, you're just like, I'll explain it to you. This will explain it perfectly, right? One stage, I went, it was kind of like a horseshoe, right? I started left and worked my way right. It was a 10-shot array, a 10-shot array, an 8-shot array, and a 4-shot array.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. The one where you start with the toes in the front and you have to boogie to the back, to the left side? Okay.
So my dumbass, I got 11 in the gun to start, right? And every time I reload with 10, I've got 11 in the gun, right? So I'm thinking, I'm going to be good all the way through. Just shoot through. Just shoot, reload, shoot, right? I have to do a reload in each position because there's 8 here, but 4 here. I won't have enough. Do your reload anyway. Get over there. First position. Shoot 2 as I'm bleeding off, pull a shot, make up a shot. Now I'm at 11 by the end of the array, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forget that I'm only starting with 11. Just, I full send a reload, and I'm like, it was hot. Just click. And I'm like, oh, fuck, gun's empty. Rack. Go back to shooting. I finished that 10-shot array. Now in my head, I'm not used to like, okay, I'm empty now, right? Load, rack, go. I just was like, load, go, click, shit, rack, keep going. And then I was able to finish out. But right there, like not shooting limited 10 enough, like that should have been, if I was shooting limited 10 for 2 months prior to limited 10 nationals, I probably would have had that bug worked out to where I realized you reached 11, load, rack. Okay, you shot your 10, load, rack, go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, I was just like, load, shoot, load, shoot, load, shoot. I'm so used to doing that in open. Like, you never run out with an open gun. If you run out of rounds with an open gun, you seriously fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, something went all the way wrong. But one makeup shot made me run empty twice.
Well, and this best thing is I actually was watching you live. That was the coolest thing about the live stream, is I actually was able to watch pretty much your whole squad shoot that stage in the morning. And I remember you running dry, and it seemed like you had like either a malfunction.
I did have a malfunction at that point. I had a round dragging because this was worn out on all my mags. I tuned my mags. I checked the bodies. I checked the springs. Like, I didn't check the tension in them, but they looked fine. Like, they weren't bent, right? I checked the followers. Turns out those springs, they had been decompressed. Like, when I put my mags away, I pull the bottoms off and I just let the spring kind of hang out so they don't stay compressed. They stay out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at them initially, they looked good. Well, once they spent all day compressed, they just started dragging. They didn't have enough tension. So that was what you were seeing, was me trying to pull the bullet back and let it spring up so it'd feed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried to rack it and it wasn't happening. So I like looked down and realized what was happening. So I just kept thumbing it like this, like I was trying to finger my gun. Pretty bad.
Yeah, and you shot with pretty much, it was a squad of Atlases at least, because it was you, Duda, Chase was shooting his Glock. I don't know why.
Yeah, he was shooting. So because he won production C last year, and he won production B, that his goal is he wants to win production C, production B, production A, production M, and then eventually the overall title.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good goal, and he's already done it twice. Like, he's technically a 2-time national champion in production in C and B class. So more power to him. I mean, and he he actually got bumped to A. Shot his first match as an A this weekend and won A and limited by 7.5% and would have got third master. He would have actually won the match if this dipshit on the last stage of the last day let the pressure get to him and totally walked by an array. Like, I've been shooting with Chase for a long time. I have never, ever seen him leave a target. Ever. That's not something he does. He's so methodical. So he texted me and was like, hey, because I texted him and was like, how'd it go? Like, everything looks to be good. Like, you finished strong today or what? And he was like, well, funny story. He's like, I felt like I shot a great match, but I fucked up in the last stage. And I was like, oh, it probably won't cost you that much. It did. It cost him a lot. That stage was worth a lot of points, and he got like 30% on it. Freaking idiot. He went like 100, 95, 100, 95, 80 something, 90, 90, 80, 100, and then like 30. So Culpepper ended up beating him. But yeah.
That sandbagger.
Little sandbagging, bro. Like, he won by like literally 7.5%. And would have got third master after literally he had 5 mics and 2 procedurals on that stage. Wow. So, like, that's a lot of points.
Oh yeah, that's an end of your match right there kind of thing.
It was over 100 and something points, I think, is when we factored it, because he lost by, I don't remember what he lost by, but when I did the what ifs for him while he was driving, because he was like, man, if I wouldn't have left that array, what would have happened? And I was like, you really want to know? He was like, I don't know. I said, you would have won by 11 points. And I just heard him hit the dash. God damn it. I was so upset. I'm like, easy. You have a teenager in the car, because he had Riley.
Yeah. And that's so nice about the competitor app. It's the best $10 anyone can spend.
Yeah, like, pay the $10. Go support Practice Score. Like, what are we doing with our lives?
Mm-hmm.
but it can get you in trouble. It can mess with your head.
Oh yeah, but there's so much data in there too, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I refuse to play the what if games now for myself. The only time I use it is if I feel that like I did something movement wise that I shouldn't have, and I wanted to see what that bit of movement cost me. And I don't compare it to other. I don't use it to compare myself to other shooters.
Mm-hmm.
I have videos, and all I do is say, okay, if I wouldn't have done X movement here, or this manipulation a little bit better here, or what have you, it would have cost me X amount of time. Or if I wouldn't have shot this delta because I came in a little bit leaned over and my gun was at an axis, and when I shot and reshot, I pulled off the delta to transition. Little stuff like that, I'll make the what ifs for myself, but I don't ever look at it like, oh, if I wouldn't have mic'd 17 targets and threw 97 deltas, I would have beat Christian Seiler at nationals. Like,
Right, you're very objective with the what ifs. I mean, a lot of people have to be like that because it's ways to improve and figure out, well, if I didn't do this one thing differently, how much better would it have been?
Yeah, it's super easy to make yourself look like a hero through the competitor app in your own head, which is good because I'm a firm believer that everyone should think that they're the most savage motherfucker on planet Earth and that they could beat anyone at any time.
Yeah, it's mental. This sport is all mental.
Yeah. Like if you're friends with me and you shoot with me, you'll hear me like I'll get you out of your own head at some point. Like at one point I'll see you just kind of like you'll make a mistake and I'll just be like, dude, you're fucking this person. Like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be thinking like that. Like, get out of your own head. You're fucking better than that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hear them be like, man, so-and-so shooting on the other stage and they shot really good here. I don't know if I'm going to do it as good. And I'll just kind of give them a little tap and be like, you're better than that fuck. Like, get out of your, just do your stuff. I may not be that guy. I don't know if you're actually better, but
well, and honestly, if everyone just worried about their game and shot their way and not worried about everyone else, I mean, unless you're talking about the super squad, I mean, most competitors, if they just worried about their shooting and didn't care what Joe Schmo was worried about, their shooting would be better too.
Even then, man, like when you're on the super squad and like I haven't shot on the super squad at nationals, but I've shot in some really packed squads. Like this year, this year at every area match, like our squads are fire. A lot of really, really top talent in those squads. And like my first time ever shooting in a situation like that where it was a packed house of just straight up assassins, I played their game way too hard. You know what I mean? And now I'm very much of just like do my own shit and let them figure out themselves. Obviously if I see them, if I pay attention to what they're looking at, but I don't pay attention to what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You got to figure out what their plan is, but be able to know that what your skill level is and be able to execute on that. We all aren't Christian Seiler or Johnny who frickin' is 100 pounds soaking damn wet and can run like a banshee.
But you know what the difference is between like a Christian JJ and a Gianni and like the rest of the guys are? They will just straight up pick up they'll pick a stage plan and they like, here's the problem. 95% of the shooters will spend 90% of their walkthrough figuring out the best stage plan. Those guys will pick 5% of the walkthrough to figure out a stage plan and then 95% of it perfecting that stage plan. And that's where they differ is like when I go to a major match or even like a local match, like I walk the stages ahead of time. And then when I'm shooting that match, like that stage is no longer about me finding out the stage plan. That stage is about me like an area match. The day before I walk the stages, I find a good game plan and it's locked. It's solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm shooting the match, when I get there and it's time to walk the stages, I'm done looking. I'm now in execution mode. Like I've got that stage plan in my head. I'm just going to focus on at 100%. And if somebody has something that is just so obviously much better, then I might look at it real quick and be like, okay, I can implement that real fast, right? And then go right. I don't spend a whole lot of time looking at that again, though. Like I'll that's just all about execution. Like
right.
10-second decision. Like is this going to save me time? And is it more flowy? Bam. Okay, I'm doing that. Or same procedure. No, it's not worth it. Get it out of your head. Keep trying to execute this to stage plan. Like, just a well executed mediocre stage plan is always going to be better than a mediocrely executed GM stage plan. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the visualizations and the memorization of the stage and getting it ingrained into the subconscious is what's going to put that run so much more easier to execute in.
100%.
I mean, shit, I don't know how you're going to handle these guys on Area 3, except that chump named Steiner. I mean, God, you got... Say again?
What's the squad?
You got what? Eddie Garcia. You got Bill Drummond. Mel's on there. Gianni. That guy named Steiner. Hyder. You. Some guy I don't know. Jamie Craig. And Jay Hirschberg. Don't know who that is.
Jay Hirschberg is he's usually a low cap shooter, but he's a good dude.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a banger of a squad there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a banger of a squad. I have a lot of really like nasty squads. Like if you go, I don't know if you can look up like I'm shooting Area 1, Area 2, Area 3, Area 4, and Area 7. My Area 7 squad is mostly Atlas members, but the Area 1, 2, 3, and 4 squads are straight up gas.
Mm-hmm.
They're retarded. But
yeah, and shit, Hyder did really well at low cap too, because I think he came in fifth or sixth in limited 10.
Yeah, he did. He got second place. So Christian obviously won first place unclassified. Hyder was second unclassified, and I was third unclassified. But
there you go.
Yeah, no trophy, no gear, no nothing.
There wasn't enough unclassified shooters to make it a trophyable division.
There was.
No awards, damn.
Yeah.
Did you at least get any of the sheet cake?
Dude, I didn't stay for the awards.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had a freaking 11-hour drive.
Yeah, I got done shooting at like 1 or 2 or whatever it was, or I think I left at like 1 or 1:30, and I had an 11-hour drive to go to work the next morning, so I dipped the fuck out.
Yeah, don't blame me on that one.
Yeah, I got home at like 12:30 and went to sleep and was up at 4:30.
Yeah. And it also seems like Chase has the shittiest luck on flights.
Always, dude. Oh my God. So there's 2 rules. Never fly with Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Never let him book the hotel room. Ever. Because there's 2 things. He's gonna like your flight's gonna get delayed. Period. And like every time I fly solo, no, not one issue, right? No issues with TSA, no issues with flights, no issues with anything. Every time I fly with Chase, TSA rips us a new asshole. Our flights get delayed. You know, our Starbucks is closed when now all I want is a coffee. Like, it's the most miserable flight experiences. That's why, like, we're role partners when we're driving. But, like, flights, that full solo. And then booking the hotel rooms. He will find, like, I feel like he goes on Google and, like, say you're going to, like, Houston, Texas, right? What's the he'll Google, like, what in all of Houston? Like, click, perfect, that one, right? Going. We always end up in the worst hotels when I let him book. So after the 3rd time, I was like, you're never doing it again. And he always makes jokes like, you got the hotel booked? Yeah, I'm fucking on top of it, asshole. Like, get out of here.
Oh.
Even I won't let him book any room. He's not allowed to book any room or board. Nothing.
Just pay me, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. There's been some sketchy, like, let him book the hotel if, 1, you want to be in the worst part of any town that you go to. 2, you want there to be an amateur wrestling event in the lobby while you're staying there, because which was actually kind of cool, by the way, but it was a little sketch.
Yeah.
Like when they're throwing each other through tables and shit, and like hitting each other in the back with like barbed wire bats. Like, I'm over it. 3, if you want to get mugged, because like that will happen too. Like, there's been a few people like you could see how they're looking at us, and they start reaching for stuff, and we're like, get the fuck out of
here. Right? Oh. Rule number 1. Sorry, Chase. You can't book it anymore.
He also is not allowed to have air conditioner privileges.
Oh, is he like one of those people who runs really warm, so it's like freaking frigid with the AC?
Bro, he is the worst. And here's the bad part. He builds those. He's the vice president of a construction company that hotels and office buildings and all that, right? And he knows how to jerry rig that shit to go even colder. Like if the hotel has it set to where it can't go below 65, like he's gonna pull it apart and figure out a way to get it below 50.
Jesus Christ.
He's frozen air conditioners in hotels before. Like he's that guy. I woke up one time before a match and like I could see my breath. And I just looked over and he's like all cuddled up, like, like, not funny, dude. It's not funny at all.
It's that big ass beard that keeps him warm.
It's that, well, no, that beard. So like head hair to toe hair is all connected. Like one big, he looks like a caveman. He's like he's one like piece of DNA short of a Neanderthal.
Funny. That is funny.
Yeah, that's him.
It is. Well, let's get back to a little bit of our shooting questions. So what is your training schedule like? I know you like to shoot a lot, but what's that like now?
It's a little bit different with how difficult it is to get primers. I'm limited. So prior to me realizing I'm going to run out of primers at the same rate I was keeping, I was shooting about 8,000 to 10,000 rounds a month. Now I'm shooting closer to 2,000 to 3,000 rounds a month. But it's I'm accomplishing the same amount of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So that I don't think I'll ever go back to shooting that much because I realized how much I was wasting. But I'm accomplishing the same goals while focusing a little more on dry fire and technique. Mm-hmm. But usually morning time, I'll wake up, run, dry fire, shower, go to work, come home. My wife usually gets off, like she just walked in the door, usually home well before she gets home. So usually I dry fire before she gets home, go work out, stuff like that. But and then I usually Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday are my practice days because my wife is off Wednesday, Thursday. So I don't leave to go shoot. I just dry fire whenever she's home. But that way I can spend time with her when she's off work. But and then Sundays, if we have a local match, I'll go shoot the local match or something. But I don't shoot a whole lot of local matches just because it's a lot of time out of the day to shoot 100 and some odd rounds. And this is going to sound bad, but like I look at who's going to be at the local match. Mm-hmm. And if homies aren't there, I'm like, nope, not even worth it.
I don't feel bad that way. I'm like that. I'm fairly low on the totem pole. I'm like, you ain't showing up? All right. Because there's a club who hosts last match was box-to-box shooting, stand-and shoots.
Oh.
So we're like, I was glad I didn't go to that. And they were like, I don't know. My guys were like, I don't know if I'm going back. I'm like, I don't blame you, bro. I wouldn't.
No, our local matches out here are bangers. There's 7 stages. They're big field courses. They're well put together. They're good matches. And if I've got a major like close to that, I'll shoot that just to like get match mode. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just to do it. But if I don't have any majors coming up and I've already practiced a bunch throughout the week and like my homies aren't going to be there, I'm good. I just don't want to go do it. I'll just go practice instead. I'll just go private range and do that instead of, sitting out there for 6 hours to shoot 100 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Especially when like stages that are like jokes, like when you look at a stage, it's like, who the hell came up with this garbage?
I will say we have some really good stage designers out here. Not as good as when I lived in Midland because Billy Dotson designed all the stages there, and in my opinion, he makes the best stages in the country. Mm-hmm. He is the best stage designer by far. If you shot Dragon's Cup, you know what I'm talking about. But in our locals, like those Dragon Cup stages were stages we shot in our locals. Like they weren't specific for Dragon Cup. Like we shot those stages prior, like throughout the year. And people were like, I liked this stage. I liked X stage. I liked Y stage. And he kind of took all those together and was like, okay, now I'm going to tweak them and make them even harder and use them for Dragon Cup. Like it was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
But out here, pretty good stage designers. There's some matches I've been to where I'm like, I could have done without that.
Yeah, and around us, the problem is we have, like I said, a bunch of people who are old, retired guys who really don't care about the sport. They just like, oh, we'll go shoot for fun. But they don't really care about the 10% of shooters who show up who actually care about this sport and want to be good.
Yeah.
And setting up good, challenging stages that give us options. Besides, which box am I going to first?
Yeah. The box-to-box stuff annoys me. There was a lot of that at Low Cab Nationals, which I'm not a fan of. I feel like box-to-box shooting and also classifiers are not... The Nationals is not the place for classifiers, period. Mm-hmm. Story. Like, figure out a different way to figure out the 100% of classifiers. But don't do it. Like, Nationals should be figuring out who is the best shooter and having the best stages, not a place for you to figure out like how your classifiers are going to do for the next season.
Right. I mean, the 20s were fantastic, though. I mean, short courses that nobody thought were going to be a classifier.
That I liked, though. See, the classifiers, I was like, there was one, and it was like, though there was one that was like kind of cool, and it was like four targets, start anywhere, right? Like,
oh, the one you shot super slow.
Yeah, slower than molasses.
Mm-hmm.
Like as I was shooting the first array, like I came out and I was like, okay, like that was my first stage of the whole match. Was that? And I was like trying to find my gear, right? Because in my head I wanted to go full retard, but in like my head I also was like, you haven't done this yet, so shoot alphas. Like as I drew, I like was so focused on trying to get a good side picture. I was like, okay, side picture's there. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be shooting. Boom, 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 boom. You see like an animation, and then like I shoot the first array, and you see me go like in my head as I'm doing my reload. I'm like, fuck, that was slow. Jesus Christ! And then I come up to the next one, and I'm like, God, that was slow too. And then you see me at the end just go full send it, bro. Bah, 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 bah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, just shoot that way the rest of the match.
Yeah, and I don't really know what that stage or new classifier is really testing besides how fast you can get to an array and blast 4 targets.
Dude, in open, that's going to be so ridiculous, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be able to start left, go inside to out, moving across, blend that into the inside target, and shoot inside out, backing up, and blend that to the outside target in. And you're going to be able to... I could shoot that stage, no bullshit, probably sub 6 seconds, fast as shit. Right? No problem. Like sub 6 seconds is like very generous. So like I could probably do that in the 4s or 5s. An open gun, no reload. Because it's was it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 rounds. Throw in a big stick, bro, I'm smashing that stage. That would be how you would shoot it, is blend to the left, blend to the right, blend to the left. Done. You're gone. By that, I mean, that's how I'd blend the targets. I would go left, middle, back, and I would blend each into each other. And I, like, as I was walking it with my limited 10 rig, I was like, I would fucking smash this with my open gun.
And I don't even think anyone else, I think everyone started in that back right corner. I don't think there's any other way to shoot it at low cap.
Because you had to reload. So if I was shooting it without having to reload, I would shoot it the way I told you. But having to reload, it's easier to shoot, reload, and then you can start inside and shoot across and then do a quick reload to the open targets.
Yep.
That seemed to be the most beneficial way to shoot it low cap. And I have no idea how the Super Squad shot anything because I didn't like walk it with any of them. I lie. I walked a few stages with like Christian and Hyder in them, but their plans were pretty much the same as mine. They were trying a little too hard to figure out some little gimmicky shit. But they also beat the shit out of me. So word up, they can do what they want.
True that. I mean, God,
But I
Christian
didn't,
can shoot.
man. He really can. Dude, Nils though,
I clean nationals. Could you believe that?
bro, Nils and JJ separated by that margin, and if you bump them to major power factor, don't do the what ifs on that.
Right?
Because I tell you who would have won the overall. Nils and JJ.
Damn right. I mean, and that's the thing about major. Major is just get those extra points. Yeah.
It's stupid. Honestly, it's not right. It's not stupid. It's a good idea, but it's too much heat. Too much major, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm sounding stupid. Drop the power factor, damn it.
Yep. And it's safer for everybody.
It's safer for the guns. It's safer for the people. It's just safer. Yeah. Plus, it would allow the big ammo manufacturers to get in on the fun and open and stuff. Like, if the power factors weren't so high, more companies would make major ammo. But be so close to SAMI spec, they don't want to touch it for liability purposes. And that's what doesn't make sense, is that if USPSA looked at it that way, like, hey, Federal's our biggest sponsor. If we drop the power factor to 145 and Federal said, yeah, we'll make an open round at 145, no problem. Federal's going to make a fucking fortune off of open shooters. You're telling me that I can just go buy open gun ammo and not have to load it? Pfft, I'm all about it, bro. I would still load my practice ammo because it's cheaper, but all my major ammo I would buy from Federal. Like,
yeah, you buy it a pallet at a time.
Yeah, what are we doing with our lives? But USPSA, like I said, not a whole lot of thinking going on in certain aspects. But
I think if IPSC changed, it would be very short after that.
IPSC won't change though, because Arms Corps is the biggest ammo company, and they make major ammo, so there's no reason for IPSC to change.
Well, true.
And a lot of those, they don't load their ammo. They buy, if they're shooting open, they buy from Arms Corps or somewhere like that, and they shoot minor otherwise. So, but USPSA, like, there's a window there that they're not thinking about.
True that. They just don't, which is sad. If they listened, they might know some things, but they don't listen very well.
They gonna start.
Yeah, gonna have to, right? Gonna have to.
Yeah. You gonna learn today.
So you said you had some banging squads for coming up for some majors. What majors are you shooting again, and which one are you really looking forward to the most?
Besides nationals?
Yeah, besides Nats.
It's a tie. It's a three-way tie, actually. I'm going to break the tie. Okay, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm really looking forward to Area 3. Only because I'm praying to God that it's going to be the 12 hated stages. And I also have a really, really fun, not just like a good squad, I have a fun squad for that. Like, all the people listed are degenerates, just like myself, right? Like, it's ridiculous. And it's going to make for great podcast material. And it's going to be just a fun all-around match. Now, besides that spectacle part of it, I'm really looking forward to Area 4. Because Chad Stanton puts on a great match. It's my area, and I lost it last year by 12 points. So I really, really want to be the Area 4 champion. I want to be the area champion of a lot of areas. But yeah, that's my area. And like I said, I lost it last year by like 12 points or some shit like that. And it hurt. It might have been even less than that. I think it was like 5 points. I got to go back and look, but it was close enough where, like, on the way home, I like rolled my window down and did a whole lot of yelling out of the window.
Oh, like a dog who's just like panting out the window, you just cussing the fuck out the window.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't have a golf cart handy to do it out of, but my car.
Yeah. You have to sometimes. You got to let that shit out because if you let it bottle up, it's not healthy.
Yeah. Like, and what really hurt was that was the second Area 4 I let slip away. 2019 Area 4, I was shooting limited, and me and Blake Miguez were going back and forth all day. And he was ahead of me by like 3% going into like the last 4 stages. And he DQ'd. So I was pretty far ahead of everybody else besides him. So he was like, all right, bro, congratulations, you're area champ. Like, you did it. And I'm like, all right, like, it's not over. I got to keep going. Kept executing. Bro, second to last stage, my extractor breaks 1 target in. So I zero like 140 point stage. And I'm like, damn it, right? But then in my head, I'm like, you know what? Max has won national 0 in a stage. Like, it's not over. I fitted a new extractor literally as they were calling my name. Like, I'm on the table with a hammer. And I'm like, bing, 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 like sliding it in, like checking in. I'm like, it's not good enough. Bing, 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 like trying to fit the extractor on the table. Shoot a really good last stage. Ended up like 97.8%. So I lost. I think I got like 3rd or 4th. But yeah, so that one hurt when they gave me my I think I got 3rd or 4th overall, and then I got like 2nd place master. So like I didn't even win my class. So like when I got the thing, I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I appreciate it. And then like I stayed and like helped because it was my area, right? And it was in Houston. So I was going to be there for an extra couple days because my in-laws lived here at the time and I lived in Midland. So I like stayed and helped tear down and all that and like do all that shit. Like, I'm walking to my truck afterward and I'm like looking at this and like I'm getting like I can feel the rage start to boil over. And like I opened my truck and I was like about to toss it in and I just went and like snapped it over my leg. And what I didn't know is the MD was like 10 feet from me. And he was like, and he's a friend, right? He was like, what did you do? I'm like, I had a moment, OG, leave me alone. I'm like, sorry, bro. He's like, it's cool, man. Like 3 weeks later, I had the plaque, the same plaque with my name on it. He reordered it like a nice person. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like, I just lost my cool a little bit. So like 2 area 4s in a row I threw out. So this one I'm like really hoping to redeem myself. And I haven't won an area match yet. Like me and Craig Tappy are like the only open guys I know that like have been this close to winning an area match and haven't done it. I'm sure there's, but those are just that I know. So me and him are like chasing our open area match wins, and I just want to do it so bad. And I'd like for it to be area 4.
There you go. I mean, everyone wants to perform well in their area.
Yeah, and area 2 is always a spectacle. How are you going to any big area matches this year?
Nope, I've got 2 level 2 matches in Michigan that I'm shooting. I'm a cheap ass, so I decided to shoot staff day and then staff the match. But next year I'll shoot area 5 because area 5 is coming to my home club.
Oh, nice.
We'll have it for 2 years, so we'll have area 5, and that frickin' range is phenomenal. There's like 20 bays.
Is it there this year?
Nope, it'll be there 2022. It's going to be the Chile Custom Guns Area 5 Championship or something like that.
I'll go to that one. I was going to go to Area 5 this year, but I decided on Area 7 instead.
Well, you kind of have to go when Atlas is right there.
Yeah. That's more of a necessity. Now, I will say that Area 7 is more like, it's not an area match. It's a big local. Like, I hate to say that, but last year when I went, I wasn't very impressed. So maybe it's better this year. I don't know. I'm assuming the way that they did registration, it's probably not going to be, considering they did a lottery.
Didn't they open it back up, though, for more people?
Yeah, that's how I got in. But I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the stages. It was like 12 stages or some shit. They were garbage water. So I wasn't too impressed with it.
They did have cool Family Guy cartoons on everything, though.
They did. I got to kick Stu in the ass. That was one really cool part. I was excited about that part. I was excited about the shoot house stage, and then I was excited about what was the other stage that was actually kind of decent. There was one with like a bridge that was kind of cool.
Oh, a shaky bridge?
Yeah, no, it was a solid bridge, which
Oh,
was,
okay.
but the
I think I think
there.
the only stage I remember from Area 7 last year was the one where they grabbed the clipboard and then
Yeah,
had to move it and then you had to shoot both ways.
that was such a dumb stage. Like the clipboard was so unnecessary. And like what people didn't what nobody really saw because nobody wanted to post that. But like go to Mike Stoker. Mike Stoker, I think, posted it where like he went to grab the clipboard and like it was sitting on this little pedestal. You know what I mean? Like so it could slide off like very easily. So
Mm-hmm.
he went to grab it and he hit it with his hand with enough force that it like shot off the pedestal and he grabbed nothing. So he, like grabbed the thing and like put it in the other hand, draw the gun, stash it. It was just it's a nut that when you take a stage that has potential to be fast, fun, and furious, right, and
Mm-hmm.
you throw a stupid gimmick in the way, it takes a really good stage and just shits on its face, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just unnecessary. There was no reason for it. It didn't even like add anything to the stage because if you're just fast on your feet, have good hand-eye coordination, and don't fuck up grabbing the clipboard, like the start was pointless. Now you had to be gentle grabbing and you had to be gentle placing because I also saw people throw the clipboard and it bounced out, and then now all the shots you threw were mics,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which I saw that happen twice. So somebody throws the clipboard in and doesn't even see it and it bounced out, and then they just go to hosing away and they get done and they just zeroed that stage. And like you can't, it's not like one of us can go, yo, you dropped the clipboard, because then we're getting a procedural, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to sit back and like when it happened, I was just like, oh no. And like it was like watching a car wreck. We're all looking at each other like, what is that? And then I think the guy even like grabbed the clipboard and was like, whose idea was this? And the RO was like, oh, I think the match director. And he goes, tell him he's a fucking asshole. And like, throws it on the ground.
Yeah, 'cause especially that throw a lot of points and a lot of speed away.
Dude, it was like a 140 point stage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the guy who did that, one of the guys who did that, like very could have easily very much was in contention even with that to win his division. So it was kind of rough watching.
Oh, I could believe it. That would not be pretty.
Yeah, so Area 7 I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm going mainly because that's where Atlas is at, and I like to go hang out with the homies and like go to the shop and chill with them. And I'm probably going to get shot with something like a dick glitter bomb or like a beanbag out of a shotgun at some point while I'm there. But
Morgan will do that to you. I can feel it.
yeah, I have a bad feeling about when I find Morgan since the last time I had communication with her. Well, no, we've talked a bunch. Obviously, we talk like every week, but I sent, for those who don't know, I sent the office manager for Atlas Dick Glitter Bomb anonymously, and she opened it with the yes lady still standing there. And according to her, a sea of like 5 million dicks burst into the air, filled the entire office. Like it's the whole thing. It apparently was a really powerful glitter bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But I've paid back. I've had that paid back to me in dividends because everything that Atlas sends me has dicks all in it and over it. Like, my limited gun showed up. It had no less than 50 dicks inside the recoil system. The panels on the grips had dicks underneath them. Like they glued one to the cutout on top. Like they were in the barrel. Like somebody stuffed them in the barrel. Like when I first got the gun, I like went to dry fire it, and like when I racked the gun, dicks went everywhere. So I was like, oh man. And then like she sent me a tech mat, and it had about literally every square inch of the tech mat was super glued dicks. So I couldn't even the tech mat. Like I got it and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I just put it away. Haven't used it since because it's useless now. So I have a bad feeling that when I finally get to that office, something is going to happen.
I'm gonna bet it's dildo slaps to the face.
Maybe. And
That'd probably be the easiest get off too.
Yeah, I mean, she's got. I mean, what am I gonna do? You know, she owes me one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting. She had to pick all those up by hand.
They don't have a vacuum at the office?
I think they have a cleaning company that comes through, so I don't know if they had a vacuum there, but I don't think you can also vacuum those up because they're flat. They won't get grabbed by the rotator thing, and they're aluminum. Like they're not plastic. They're like little aluminum cutout dicks, and they're like
that's no good.
Vacuum. So it was good. Best $30 I ever spent.
Yeah. What's your address so I can send you one?
Absolutely not.
All right, Chase.
Unless I know where a package is coming from, it's not getting opened. So if you send me something and it doesn't have your name on it, it's probably going in the trash. I don't care if it's $1 million in a duffel bag. It doesn't say from this person, it's gone.
You're right.
I'm very untrusting after I pull a prank.
Right?
Yeah.
Except the fun part is that you know where it's coming from, and then you should you expect it.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah. It comes when you do those anonymous glitter bombs. They come from like a weird, like that one was from like Posters USA or something. So she was like, "Did we get posters in?" And Adam's like, "I don't think so." And she's like, "Apparently we did." And like, oh, I wish they had cameras in the office because they were in like the main clerical part, right? Mm-hmm. So like they have cameras everywhere else, but that area, right? So I wish I would have had that on video. I would have paid a lot of money to see that.
Mm-hmm. I bet you would have. I would have too. I mean, that'd been just funny on IG. Morgan get blasted with a bunch of dicks.
Been so savage.
Mm-hmm.
But I may, send another one. Who knows?
They won't listen to this, so it'll all be good. Send them away.
Yeah, right. I may send them another one. I don't think she's dumb enough. She's pretty intelligent. I don't think she'd fall for the same prank twice, but you never know.
It's okay. We'll just label it from Mike Stoker.
Oh, you're a genius.
Mm-hmm.
You I'm gonna have to buy one, get it sent to me, and then pull the label off of it and put like from Superville, Mike Stoker with their address. Oh, Mike, if you're listening to this, please don't ruin it.
Please don't. Oh God.
Oh man. Oh, that'd be so good. That's the way to do it, is to do it and make it look like somebody else did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't know who it was at first. She had no idea. She just hit the group chat and was like, "Which one of you assholes did this?" And nobody said a word. And before the group chat, she hit me up. She called me immediately. I was the first phone call. She calls me and goes, "You're a dick." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I know this was you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You didn't send anything to the shop?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" I like played it off really good. And she's like, "Oh my God, well, somebody sent me a dick glitter bomb." And I'm like, "No way." And like started laughing. And then she sends to the group chat and I let it stew for like 3 days. And I was like, "Hey, did you ever get that package I sent you?" And she's like, "You asshole." So it was pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now I'm going to be worried about everyone who sends me mail now.
Yeah. I got to be careful opening mail as of right now. I have anthrax in it.
Yeah, it could have anthrax or COVID. You never know.
One of the two. I'm not worried about COVID. COVID don't kill people.
No.
Obesity does, but COVID doesn't.
Right. Speaking of that, you've been eating a little bit better. How's that going for you?
Going good, man. I'm down a lot of weight. I'm in good shape right now. I'm trying to also thought about growing a beard. I don't know if anybody can see this. It's not working at all. Mm-hmm. But I'm probably going to shave it. I like wild hair. I was like, I've never been able to grow a beard in patchy areas. There's too much white trash in my blood. Mm-hmm. It just grows in all Joe Dierte. So I'm like, hey, it's been a while since I attempted it. Let me try it again. And no. So I let it go for a little bit. But I went into a meeting the other day and people were looking at me like, "You look homeless." Like, yeah, I'll probably shave this again.
I think it's something you and Bill do to have in common because it's just the goatee thing. None of this shit.
Yeah. Got to, man.
You have to. I've been trying it lately. I've been trying it for a while to do this shit, but it doesn't work. The goatee's where it's at.
It is, man. Real men have goatees. Only pussies have beards. Think about that.
Savage.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Well, Trevor, we're getting near the end of what we got today. I do have a couple more questions for you before we end off this hilariously awesome time. Um, what is something that you would tell current Trevor would tell past Trevor about shooting?
Don't ask for any rides in golf carts.
Right.
No. If I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would be um, put more emphasis on structured practice. By structured practice, I mean practice with a purpose. Don't just go shoot to shoot. Like, know what you're working on, know what to fix, know what to look for. Um, and that's a hard thing for someone coming up to do. You know, if you're new to the sport, you don't necessarily know what to look for yet. But do your research, listen to as many good instructors as you can, watch other people's videos. Like, I'm a very big fan of the sport and I watch everyone's videos. I don't just watch the top guys' videos because they do stuff wrong too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, like, if you post a shooting video and I see it on my page, I'm going to watch it 6 or 7 times because I'm going to watch like every aspect of it and then like see if there's something I can pull out of it, right? There's certain guys that do things so well that they may not do they may do 10 things wrong but one thing right, but that one thing is badass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to think of an example. I don't want to point anybody out, so that's probably not a good thing to do. But there's shooters where like they're really, really good at transitions, but they're terrible at movement, and their shot calling sucks. And then there's guys that are monsters at moving. Right, their footwork and efficiency is so good, but their shooting portion, it needs improvement. Right, and then there's guys who are really good at the shooting portion as far as like effectively moving their gun and manipulating their gun very, very effectively and methodically, but their movement is garbage, right? So there's like, look at everything, study the sport. Don't just like, oh, I need to go practice, so I'm going to go set up a Blake drill and shoot it 10 times. And then I'm going to shoot 4 bill drills. Then I'm going to shoot 50 doubles drills, right? Like I did a lot of that really early. It did me no good and cost me a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's a lot of, especially when you don't know what to look for.
Yeah.
It doesn't do you any good to burn ammo if you don't know what to look for.
At all. I love Jay Beal's approach. Like, mm-hmm. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite people to study because you can work on every aspect of the sport besides handling the recoil impulse in dry fire, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
Mm-hmm.
I lie. I mean, it costs you dry fire targets, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Cost you about it. Very, very minimal money.
Just your own time.
Yep. And that's dry fire and methodical practice would be my like go-to for that situation.
Yeah, dry fire I enjoy dry fire. I know people who say it's boring, but dry fire is the life.
It's boring because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. They don't. And especially when they just like, oh, I'm going to do reloads or 2 reload 2 or 1 R1s. It's like that's not even half the sport. Like 90% of the time, your draw needs to be moving. We're not standing still, and that where it matters that you have a 0.6 second draw to a 10-yard open target. I mean,
yeah, I hardly do any stationary draws, and I hardly do any stationary reloads.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you watch my shooting videos, the only time I really miss a reload is if I'm standing still. Because I'm so used to reloading on the move that the mechanics of the reload in the movement, right, is different than the mechanics of the reload stationary. The way your body's positioned, the angle of everything's different. So like when I'm moving side to side, left to right, like go look at my nationals videos. And for limited 10, and like all my reloads on the move are crisp. And then I'll post one on my story today where like 2 times I reloaded standing still and I was like, biff, fuck, click, right? Like I just don't load stationary very well. I do. All right, I lie. I do, but the only time I really miss a reload is when I'm stationary.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason to practice stationary reload. You shouldn't really be reloading stationary.
No.
Unless
No.
unless you shoot low cap.
Well, even though they should try to be moving while they should try to absorb the reload into movement if they can.
Yeah.
Unless you're shooting in a box.
If I'm reloading stationary, I slow my reload way down.
Mm-hmm.
Way down. Like I'm not nearly as aggressive. Like it's more of a the 90-10 rule when I'm reloading in that manner, stationary is extremely exaggerated. Like it's like boom, click. Rather than in my moving, it's like boom, click. It's like quicker. It's like 99-1, where my standing reload is like 90-10, right?
Yeah. And you'd think it'd be the other way around because you want to make sure you have a good load on the move, but
it's just easier for me. I've done it so much. I've tens and tens of thousands of moving reloads. So I was just used to it. I've probably done maybe a couple hundred standing reloads.
Yeah. Absolutely. And as soon as people start putting movement into their dry fire, it'll be definitely muy bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But I think one of the last two questions I've got for you is that we know you're the captain of Atlas Gunworks USPSA team. Who are your other sponsors so we can show some love to them?
Yeah, so I'm blessed enough to have a lot of people help me out in this sport. Ghost Holsters USA, and Ghost Holsters International, just Ghost Holsters in general. These guys right here, if it'll focus. My camera's been acting weird this whole time, so. Ghost, I signed with them earlier this season. They helped me out with all my gear, holsters, belt, mag pouches. They also have some sick shirts. They sent me some dope beanies because a lot of people like hats. I'm a big hat guy, but I'm also a big beanie guy. I just don't really wear them to matches. In the winter, I do. In the winter, you'll always see me. But they also have some pretty cool stuff. Like they have calf sleeve compression. They have some badass compression shirts. Like they sent me some like compression shirt undershirts. They're awesome. The only thing I don't like is they're like the European cut. So you got to wear a shirt over them because if you walk around Texas wearing that cut shirt, you're going to get mistaken for, you know where I'm going with that. Somebody's, yeah, they helped me out a lot. So, and then Walker Hearing, Walker Ear Pro. I started using their stuff initially and then went to Pro Ears, and the Pro Ears were cool. But I like the Walkers better. I think the quality is a little bit better. And their new stuff is dope. Their new Ear Pro is pretty cool.
Yeah, the Bluetooth ones.
Yeah. The new I've got the new silencers, and then I've got the new over the ear muffs. I like the over the ear muffs better. My ear canals don't like the in ears. But they're so soft. They got the gel pads and the gel strap that are just so comfortable and have no problem all day.
I think I'm an odd person. I like to be behind an open shooter. I love feeling the concussion of an open gun. People are like, "You're weird." It's like it's so loud. It's not even loud. It's just the poof. It's just like it feels, and you don't know it behind you. If you're the shooter, you don't know it. But if you're behind, it's just like poof, and it's like I like that feeling. It just feels not be ready for it.
Yeah, you know it's there, right? And especially if you're doing a one-handed shooting, right? Like the gun goes from right here to like maybe a little bit out here. You get a little bit of that, right? And then if you're laid down, like I shot some low port stuff where you like had to go literally to the dirt, and when you all that dust just goes. Just
oh god, yeah, that would be no bueno, especially in moon dust.
Dude, we've done it, and nobody thought about it. Nobody thought about it ahead of time. When we were walking the stage, none of us thought like, man, our barrel's only about this far off the ground, and we'd have the gun sideways. So like the port's gonna kick all this dust up. Well, nobody thought about it. Well, the first person to shoot was I can't remember who it was, but he went up and shot, and like I watched it and I saw this just big poof of dust, and then I saw him visually just kind of like look back at us and then go back to shooting. So yeah, I love the concussion though. Like I love RO and open shooters just because it's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's boring when like you RO a PCC. Like you can't hear anything, you can't feel anything. You know, it's the
Mm-hmm.
it's the visual and the physical part of the sport that I just love. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I love when somebody's open gun is like dumb loud. You know, when you're standing at the back of the bay loading and they start cracking off rounds and your ear pro's not on and you get that like bang bang. You're like, oh yeah, they're shooting again.
Right.
but yeah, and then Hunter's HD Gold, they help me out in a tremendous amount. Brian is one of my favorite people on planet Earth. Super good cat. Just if you ever see him, just do yourself a favor and go meet him. Go talk to him.
Well, that's definitely the plan. I remember when I ordered my Hunter's HD Golds, he literally applied within 5 minutes at like 7 in the morning.
Dude, he's a savage. He's the hardest working guy in USPSA by far.
Mm-hmm.
Like by far. As far as like USPSA sponsors go, or USPSA officials or USPSA representatives, whatever you want to call it, he's the hardest working guy.
Mm-hmm.
Him and a few other guys are that way. Like him and then the guy from Ghost and the guy from Atlas are like that. And then like Marco from Motley's that way. Like those guys all, they're savage.
Well, I can imagine. You gotta, that's how you make your money. I mean, Brian doesn't make his money on just letting you borrow glasses. He makes it on his personality and his, willingness to help you. And shit, he's got a whole van full of guns now.
Yeah. He's got a dope ass Mercedes van that has a cigar lounge and a whiskey lounge in the middle part, and then like a full gun shop in the back with glasses all over the place, and then like a little retractable awning with like chairs and stuff. Like it's a party. Like Mason Lane said it best. If they would have done the low cap awards at Brian's van, it would have been a better production.
Mm-hmm.
By far.
Be bumping music too.
Yeah. Go for real. Well, you technically are not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, music. But yeah, them, and then ammo wise, PC bullets, love their bullets. They help me out a lot. Especially as an open shooter, people get surprised that I shoot a coated bullet, but there's a reason I shoot PC bullets. Their coating is different. It's proprietary. It's better. It doesn't let up your comp. Shooter's World, powders, love their powder. Those guys also huge supporter of me for a long time. Love them. Shell Shock Technologies. I shoot 9 major, and the big problem with 9 major is case issues, and Shell Shock solves that problem. So I've always said if you take the time to load 9 major as methodically as you do 38 Super, I think it's a superior round, and using Shell Shock is a big step to it.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely nice when you can have a magnet and pick up your brass.
It is so dope. It's so dope. I love practicing with my buddies because we're all open guys, right? Most of us are. So like I go and like I'm shooting and then they shoot, and then when we're done, it takes me 3 seconds to pick up my brass because I got a magnet on wheels, and I just kind of go just roll it all up in like no time, and they're out there like little range chickens just picking up brass for like 30 minutes, and I like sit back and like bullshit with them while they're picking up brass. And I'm like, God, man, I'm going to be late for dinner at this point. And they're like, shut up. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, super cool guys. And then Marco at Team Motley, he helps me. And that guy, let me use his range forever, puts on good matches, takes care of people in the sport. Super good guy. Super good guy. And then, GPS Bags, Birchwood Casey, those guys are also big supporters of mine. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. I think that's everybody, man.
There you go. Wow, you got a load of sponsors. I think you're the most sponsors person we've had with sponsors on the show.
Yeah, I may be forgetting some. I hope not.
Do you have a gun store sponsor you?
Oh, I do. Ally Outdoors.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I forgot that one. Yeah, which they're actually one of my biggest supporters. Like those guys like take care of like my travel, my match fees. Like they take care of me hardcore. So I can't believe I just forgot them. They're the largest indoor gun range in Texas. They also, the owner Grip is, we call him Batman because he's like Batman. Like think of Batman and like all the cool shit that he has. Like the guy drives around in an excursion that's like bulletproofed and like Batman themed, and then has he has an MRAP just chilling. He has like a nasty Ferrari collection. He has like so many up armored vehicles, it'd blow you away. And then like you walk into his office, and he's the guy where like you walk into his office and there's probably like there's the anti-aircraft gun that sat on top of Hitler's compound on like a red carpet in the corner. And like there's some weird shit. Like he got into golf, and then like one day I walk into his office and there's a brand new set of PXGs, like a $9,000 set of golf clubs sitting in the corner. Got like a Monster Energy golf bag signed by Tiger Woods. And I'm like, where do you get this stuff? And he's like, oh, I just get it.
They give him money.
Yeah, I just give them money and they give me shit. I don't know. He actually, so he owns a lot more than just Ally. Like he's a big business guy, but he's super cool, super big in the gun community, takes care of everybody, super big in Midland, Texas. Like he's like a good old boy from the city, like came back, like did a lot, developed a lot. He's opening up a Black Rifle coffee store there right now. Which is pretty cool because as of that I know of, they only have 2, and that's Utah and Bernie. And now they're going to have 3, one in Midland. And he's involved with those guys. He actually is the one who introduced me to those guys. So he's really cool. But if you ever get a chance to meet Grip, you'll understand why we call him Batman.
Maybe it'll be on the bucket list whenever I get down to Texas.
Dude, whenever you come to Texas, bro, like this will be your room here.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, it's my little guest suite. It's got its own bathroom and closet and all that shit. You got a nice king size bed. You can have fun.
Is this the one that we peed in with Bill Duda?
It is. So it's been broken. Yeah, it's been broken in. But you come down, dude. We'll have a good time, bro. I'll show you Houston like you have never seen it.
Hell yeah, man.
We'll go do some cool shit.
Fuck yeah. Like I said, Trevor, I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun. We've had a blast. I've had some laughs. It's been a good time. But the people need to know, where can they find you? Where can they find your media?
Man, banging_brass on Instagram, banging_brass on Facebook, banging brass on YouTube. I also have a podcast, the Banging Brass Podcast. You can find that on all podcast forums and YouTube as well. I got a TikTok. That's actually kind of fun. I post all the shit that I won't post on my other social medias on TikTok. So if you know me well enough to know what that means, then you'll want to follow my TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
That one's still just Banging Brass. But yeah, you can find me on any of that. And then you can also, if you're interested in taking classes from me, I have yet to really publicize this, so I'm going to do it on your show. I'm openly going to say this. I am a part of Elm Tree Training Group now. So if you want to take a class from me, just go to elmtreetraininggroup.com and sign up, and I'll be teaching classes now. So, or if you're local to the Houston area, I do private one-on-one, I do group classes, or if you're interested in setting up a class, just reach out to me and we'll make it happen.
That'd be sweet. And I know people hit you up for training, and that's cool to see that you're hooking up with, what is his name, Jim?
Yeah, Jim Krantz.
Jim Krantz. Because he changed his name on Instagram to Elm Tree.
Or Jim Elm Tree Jim, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I can't find him because he's always shadow banned anyway.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, and that'll be cool. It'll be nice to see you getting out and training and getting your name out there. It'll be awesome. And like I said, thanks again, Trevor, for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. We've now actually taken the reins on the longest running episode of the podcast. We beat him out by like 7 minutes right now, which is insane to me. And I want to thank the viewers for watching and listening to us ramble and have a good time. So until next time, guys, get out and do the things. We'll have a good one. Catch you later.